which is allowing us to have better pricing from our suppliers. Additionally, we need, as a startup company, and that's what we've been for the last 4 or 5 years, we need to develop a more diverse supplier base. And Air Liquide has been a great partner in helping us think through second source options. And one of the areas that we've spent a great deal of time over the last 6 to 9 months is to find a second source for our stacks. And we've looked at 2 options. One is alternative stacks from providers who are out there already, as well as developing our own stack internally with Air Liquide and membrane suppliers. On the alternative stack, the company over the last 6 to 9 months, jointly with Air Liquide, have visited over a dozen stack providers, evaluated technologies. And we down selected some for further testing and further evaluation. And we will be deploying in our ground support equipment trial, which is government funded, with FedEx in the first quarter of next year, a second source supplier than our present stack provider. We also plan that by the fourth quarter of 2014, Plug Power will be shipping systems with a second source supplier for stack. Probably what's more exciting is that we've also spent a good deal of time working with membrane and plate suppliers. We spent all day with the plate supplier out of Korea yesterday. And we probably visited 4 or 5 membrane suppliers, 4 or 5 plate suppliers around the world. And Plug Power and Air Liquide, along with a membrane supplier, feel comfortably that we can develop a unique stack for material handling and other applications that Plug Power can use. Some of you may not know, Plug Power is actually in the stack business. And we developed stack for our backup power systems and Genesis products. Air Liquide is developing stacks today for a number of different applications. They have strong electrochemists. We have strong system and mechanical designers. And since my mechanical designers have a full suite of products today, we can start diverting some of our present resources to develop our own stack. This will take time, and in February we'll provide an update during our update call about the status of this activity. I think this is an example of, as this business grows, suppliers are excited about doing business with Plug Power. To large membrane suppliers like Johnson Matthey and 3M, Plug Power's business represents a significant portion of the fuel cell membrane market today, and they view, since we are the premier integrator in the world, the future. Finally, I'd like to talk about expansion opportunities. And on the expansion opportunities, we've completed 1 year of our joint venture with Hypulsion in Europe. And during the analyst portion of the day, Warren Brower, who runs sales and product marketing for the Hypulsion unit out of Grenoble, France, will be providing an update to the audience. But the business has had good success, has collaborations with all 7 large OEMs in Europe, as well as they have starting to deploy units with, not surprisingly, BMW and IKEA. We also continue to look at other markets, and looking to move in other markets which are complementary to our present market and which is funded by third parties. One of those areas is the ground support equipment, where next year we'll be doing a deployment with FedEx at their facility in Memphis Airport, where they'll be replacing their present ground support equipment with 15 units with 15 fuel cell power units. FedEx finds this an opportunity to reduce greenhouse gases at airports. One that I got to tell you that I've been stunned by the reception, where we've received funding both from NYSERDA and the Department of Energy, is the transport refrigeration unit. We made an announcement that we were going to do a deployment with Cisco in Long Island. Probably within 2 hours, I received a call from our largest customer asking why am I not doing it with them, as well as another customer who put an outside hydrogen fueling station in place so that they could also trial and test this unit. The transport refrigeration unit market could potentially be larger than our material handling market. The value it brings to our customers is logistics simplification. When one would be using hydrogen, there'll be advantages at the site, at the same hydrogen that they'll use for their fleet, for forklift trucks, they will also be using for their fuel cells, for their trailers. It's a great opportunity. Value proposition looks promising today, and we're really looking forward to the deployment in the first half of the year. And another application where we have bids in with the Department of Energy and with Federal Express is range extenders for electric vehicles. What many people may not know is that Plug Power product is a hybrid product with lithium batteries and fuel cells. We match the fuel cells and lithium batteries together to provide the optimum performance for our customers' experience. This expertise, we believe, will match quite nicely with the needs for fleet vehicles. FedEx has a fleet that has a range of electric vehicles that have a range of 60 to 65 miles a day. By adding a hydrogen fuel cell of approximately 20 kilowatts and a tank, that range can be more than doubled. Again, an interesting opportunity for Plug. In conclusion, and before I go to the next slide, I'd just like to remind everybody of our goals next year. I'm feeling really good about our goals. And I got to tell you, it's a different feel about the company than it was last December at this time. We will do over $70 million in revenue, and we have visibility, which is something this company has never had before. We have a clear roadmap to meet our product costs and service costs. The company will do $70 million in revenue, 25% gross margin. This will be done at approximately 20 sites, 5 sites in which Plug Power will provide a full turnkey solution. This is really, as I keep on saying in the press, this is going to be a blowout quarter. We're going to book $30 to $40 million in revenue, if not more. And that the company, without question, will be EBITDA break even. We won't lose our focus on material handling, but as, without question, the premier integrator of PEM fuel cells in the world. And that's why partners are knocking on our doors. Plug Power is really poised for continual growth, not only in 2014, but throughout the next 2 to 3 years and beyond. I've been here 5 years, and I got to tell you, I go home. I would say in my first year I was learning the business and I was comfortable. Now I really know the business, and I've never been more comfortable because this is a business that is about to explode. And I'm just so pleased to be part of such a team. So on final notes, I'd like to open it up for questions, and I have Keith Schmidt and Eric here who will help me on some of these questions. Eric Hansen here, who's our VP of Sales. Plus, I put up there for those who are remote, you can't ask questions live, but you can email Teal at the email address given, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. So Any questions from the audience? John, I'm counting on you. Okay. Get some funny feedback too. Sure. Why don't you turn that off? So John asked a question about funding for the TRU. The product itself, from a plug point of view, is actually much simpler than the material handling product. When you go on the tour today, John, you'll see these units with large chassis that have to mimic and simulate batteries. It's a constant and has to vary in load from almost 0 watts all the way up to surges of 50 kilowatts during operation. This unit is actually a rather simple unit, 20 kilowatts straight power, with some intelligence that have to work back to the truck. So the development cost is relatively minor and will be covered during this phase of development as we determine whether this is a viable market through funding by the Department of Energy and via the state of New York. I think that once we go to this stage, obviously, where one's looking to fully commercialize the product, there will be added costs, but the benefits to the customers. And I would expect, John, that if we move it forward, we would be looking to have commitments upfront from customers for this product.
Are the problems around vibration, I know it's early stage when we get to what the most challenging engineering issues might be, but vibration on the road is significantly more than what the experience obviously in a warehouse setting. So, is that something that, given damaging technologies and whatnot, that you guys could probably get there?
So, Eric, you want to take that one? Why don't you take this?
So John, I've spent quite a few years in the automotive industry, and I can tell you the vibration and shock that we experience in the material handling side is far more extreme than what we saw in the automotive world. It's all unsprung weight. There's no suspension with a lift truck, so every little crack or divot in the floor that we hit, all of that shock goes directly through all of the products and through the operator as well. Whereas on the road vehicles, obviously you have a suspension. And, I can remember when we did our shock testing, we would do typically 100 G shocks, 30 in a row. That's what we would have to survive. And, material handling products are in the thousands of shocks that you have to see.
No, go ahead, Dave.